Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, for the second time, I am joined by award-winning singer, songwriter, and energetic country entertainer. He is the great Gary Pratt. Gary has won several awards, and his last two songs have topped #1 on the international iTunes chart. So we're going to be talking to him about that. And if you missed it the first time, you're in for a treat because he's going to be telling you about his new projects. Gary, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Curtis, for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you.
Well, why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the U.S. here, and I grew up in a very small town and always wanted to sing country music since I was a kid. I always watched the music awards. In fact, I watched them last night, and it was just a treat to really watch them and still, dreaming to get up on that stage. I did recently win a U.S. Male Songwriter of the Year award with the International Singer-Songwriters Association. And unfortunately, I couldn't go up on that stage and, say thank the people who got me that far because of COVID. So I'll tell you a little story here. I was sitting in the middle of the mall waiting for something to be engraved at a store called Things Remembered. And I was watching the virtual show for the awards on my phone. And when they announced my name as the winner, I couldn't believe it. But, I just all of a sudden I got chills. I'm sitting there. I really can't tell anybody what's going on. But I yelled out, yeah. I got a couple looks here and there. But, then a feeling of just gratitude and, thanking God for validating all this that I've been doing for so long. And to get that award was a highlight in my career. And like I said, unfortunately, I couldn't go up on stage and thank those people for helping me get that far. They did let me record acceptance speech, and they did, put that on their websites and stuff like that. So that was great. But it was sort of funny. The song album, or the album that I wrote some of these songs on, that I got the award for, is called Something Worth Remembering. That's my current album out right now. And it just sort of struck me funny that I was waiting for something to be engraved at Things Remembered, and my album's called Something Worth Remembering, and they announced my name. And that was such a highlight of this past year. And after COVID and some personal family illnesses that we've gone through, it was just a memory that, I'll never forget. And I have this wonderful award they sent me. And as I watched the awards last night, the CMAs, I was looking at the awards they were holding, and it looked a lot like mine. So I'm very proud of where I've gone so far with this, with my music. And I'm really happy right now in my music career. But music has always been in my blood. I've always loved country music. I've been in several bands that weren't country, and that was fine because, it gave me that experience. Some rock bands, top 40 bands, and even actually a 40s band at one time in my life. And I'm just really happy where I'm at right now. And MTS Records, Michael Stover, Brian Cole, who's my producer, Doug Casper, engineer, and Adam Ernest, who's an artist in his own right, actually is with Sony right now. They helped me get this far. And, of course, my friends and my family and my fans. And I'm enjoying the ride right now. That's where I come from, a small rural country town, coal mining town, and just pursued music all my life. And I'm just enjoying it right now.
Tell us about some of the other awards that you won. I think I saw in your bio you had one more.
I was a nominee for the Josie Music Awards. I did not win that award, but just to be nominated is, that's a dream come true too, because I've always known about the Josie Music Awards. and also the Hollywood Music Media Awards. I'm a nominee for that also. So those are the other two other awards that are going on right now. Like I said, the Josie Music Awards is over, but the Hollywood Music Awards, they haven't been, awarded yet. So I'm hopefully looking forward to accepting an award from them also. But these are just to be nominated is I'm grateful for that, and I'm already a winner. Anybody that's nominated, I believe they're already winners because people are hearing your music and you're getting recognized for it, and it validates everything that you do as an artist. So, good luck to everybody else that's nominated for the Hollywood Music and Media Awards also.
Well, tell us how the CMAs went last night. I intended to check it out, but I forgot all about it. Tell us how it went. Give us some highlights of it for those who missed it.
My highlights would have been Carrie Underwood and Jason Aldean doing their brand new duet. Awesome. Carly Pearce and Ashley McBryde. I love both of those girls. I love to do a duet with either one of them. They did a wonderful duet that they have out right now. And Carly Pearce won an award, and her reaction, I think, stole the night. Hands down. Just her reaction, and she didn't know what to say. And you can tell that she was grateful. And Ashley McBryde came up and got her composed until she could say a few words. But I think that was the highlight of the show. Of course, being from Pittsburgh, we got Gabby Barrett. She was nominated, did a wonderful performance of one of her songs. And also Dan and Shay, one of those guys are from Pittsburgh too. So it's nice to see Pittsburgh artists, going national and being in the mainstream country. Those I would say would be the highlights. Also, they have, it's so different now. They have, all kinds of people on the awards. Everybody's getting an equal share. And I think that's great because young kids that are out there that may be interested in music and, maybe different, now we have, the African Americans, more of those people, in the national mainstream country music and, making history. And we also have, people that are, they're one of the new things is one of the guys in Brothers Osborne came out. And it's just so diversified. And I think it's wonderful for kids that might be interested in country music. If they watched the awards last night, know that they can dream. And no matter who you are, everything that makes you different makes you unique. And if kids are seeing this and they're dreaming to be a country music star, they see how diversified we are, especially in media right now. I think that's where it should start because it's just going to teach our kids that everyone's equal, everyone can dream just as much as the next kid. And I think that's the message they put out last night with the Country Music Awards. And, I salute them for that.
Well, yeah, I definitely like that Carrie Jason duet, If You Love Me. I play that on my show a lot. Tell us about some of the big influences.
I have a girl that sings with me at all my shows.
Really?
My big influences?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, I've always loved Garth Brooks. If people haven't heard the last interview we had, one of my songs was written by Tony Arata, who wrote the dance for Garth Brooks. And I'm so honored to have Tony Arata's name on my album. Actually, the song that he wrote is Something Worth Remembering, which ended up being the title of my album and the title song. And that was dedicated to my brother. That's why I was looking for a song that in his memory, because he passed away a few years ago. And when we found that song, it just pulled the whole album together. So yeah, definitely Garth Brooks is one of my idols. But growing up, my dad and my cousins and uncles, they listened a lot to the older country music like Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson. I heard a lot of Elvis too. My mom loved Elvis, and so those are all influences that I think that I had in my music. I also love Dwight Yoakam. I think combining a lot of these people has made my voice sound a little unique. But those are my influences that I grew up with. And I'll tell you a little story here. When I knew I always loved country music. I knew I wanted to sing, and I just loved singing all the time since I was a kid. But one incident in my life that really sticks out in my mind was our family went to a picnic. I don't know if it was a family picnic or just like friends of my dad's or something. They had a band there, and the drummer in the band was my cousin Floyd. And I remember sitting there and being memorized watching them. And right then I knew when I grow up, I'm going to be in a band. And so I was probably maybe 10, but at age 16, I had a band. My parents, we advertised in a newspaper, advertised in, certain other places. And we got a bunch of guys together and a girl that I was going to school with. And we formed a band. All the people in the band were older than me, which I think was a benefit because they wanted to play, the bigger, places, the bigger clubs and festivals and that. And I think I learned a lot from them. So I think everyone that I've played with in a band, they all have some influence on you also. So not just people that are well known. There's other people in your life that can influence you. So I think that sort of puts it in a nutshell of my influences, not just the mainstream people, but people that you play in bands with, and other people that play music that are locally, they can influence you in different ways also.
Absolutely. So tell us about the lady that sings at the shows. Would you tell us a little bit about her if you can?
Her name is Kate Zoller, and I just love her. I had another girl who was singing with me, and unfortunately her and her husband moved. So Kate she's the ministerial music minister at my mom and dad's church. And I've been to that church several times and sang at the church also. But when Kate found out that I was maybe looking for someone, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to go that route or not. She asked my mom and dad if I'd be interested. So my mom and dad sort of pushed it, and I was like, okay, I'll give her a chance, And she had never been in a band. She's never been, out singing in public as far as out of the church. But her and I have just clicked, and in more ways than just musically. And she is just an awesome person. And, she believes in God like I do. And, we have a strong faith. We always pray before we do our shows. And I was texting her back and forth last night because I'm actually in Florida right now, so which is really cool. But I was talking to her about the awards and stuff. But, she's just an awesome person. And I've seen her grown over, it's been about a year and a half to 2 years now. She's been with me, and I've just seen her grow as an artist. And we're trying to write some things together and some Christian things we'd like to write together. I'm just so excited to have her, not just, on stage with me, but as a friend and, spiritually. And, we help each other out. So it's an awesome, she's an awesome person, and I'm just so glad she's with me, and I'm glad my mom and dad talked me into it. So, but I just love her.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about your projects, kind of tell us about everything that you've released and kind of give us a brief overview of each project.
Okay. Well, my current project that's out, the first released song was a song called "A Song You Can Drink a Beer To." It was written, actually not by me, but it was written by Autumn McIntyre, Reba's niece. And the song did so well. It was number one in South Africa iTunes, and number one in a European market. And it really opened the door up for me to do a lot of, podcasts as this and radio interviews. We did do some local radio interviews, and they played the song. There's a radio station in Nashville that played it all summer long called WNHE with Buck McCoy. And they also promoted it like in Las Vegas and New York and let's see where else, Los Angeles. They're like all sister stations. And I've got so many people fans and friends that have been listening to that station now, they had started my new single, which is called Country to the Bone. They're playing that now, and I have a lot of friends and fans that call that station every week and request a song. And I'm so grateful for those people, because without them, I couldn't be getting as far with those radio stations as I am. So I am so appreciative of each and every one person that calls and requests my songs. So right now we have 2 songs that are released from the album. I hopefully the album is out there, but when we release it as a single, it gets more recognition, and people listen to them more and can get them on the stations. So I'd like to release a few more songs from the album before I start on the next album, but I do have ideas for the next album, I think. But I don't want to forget about this one, because this one has a lot of life still left into it. I do have a duet on this album that's out now. It's called To Find Us. I wrote the song, and I'd really like Blake and Gwen to listen to this song. So if you have any connections, if anybody has any connections out there, maybe you can get that song to them. It's called To Find Us. And it's a duet that I did with a singer in Nashville who's on the MTS label, Savannah Nider. Me and my producer, Brian Cole, drove down to Nashville, not this past July, but the July before, and we recorded this song down at Omni Studios. And it was sort of strange because it was during the pandemic, and the streets were bare, and you went to the studio, you went to your hotel room, and that was sort of about it. Me and Savannah and her husband and I did go out to dinner one night. Of course, that was all how the restaurants were, but we found a place that we could go, and she's just an awesome person too, and her husband. And I know you'll be hearing more about Savannah. So if anybody's out there, you want to hear anything on the new album, or even some of my past albums, you can go to YouTube and Spotify, Gary Pratt. Go to my webpage, www.garyprattmusic.com. I also recently talked to Michael Stover and MTS Records, and I did a Christmas album before this last album, and not too many people heard of it because it wasn't really with a record company or wasn't released the way my last album was. So MTS did release 3 Christmas songs that are on that album. The album's called Angels in the Snow, and there's a few songs that are original, and there are some of your other songs like Rock Around the Christmas Tree and Merry Christmas Baby, songs like that everybody knows, and a few songs that have been out there that not too many people have heard of, and like I said, a few originals. And Angels in the Snow is an original song, and that's the title of the album. So a lot of things floating out there, and I have new ideas for a new album. One thing about this current album, it's opened my eyes to a direction that I want to go in music and messages that I want people to hear. Like I'm really big on, since I did lose my brother, I'm really big on, telling people on how you care about them. If you love somebody, make sure you let them know, because tomorrow, nothing's guaranteed tomorrow. I know a lot of people have said that, but I want to get it out there in music, like positive messages and how you can take negative situations and turn them into positive things. And that's sort of the direction I want to go with this next album. Even though once in a while I like to throw in a fun song, just like I did with the last album, like a song you can drink a beer to, and sounds like whiskey to me. Those are like fun songs, and I know they're drinking songs, but when you're doing country music, you got to do some drinking songs. So, but there's also some serious stuff in my last album. But the next album, I really do have a direction for it, and I have a title for it already, and sort of going to work backwards on this one, I think. And I know what the title's going to be, so I know what I have to write. And I sort of want to release the next album a little different, maybe in a slower fashion, maybe release a couple singles and then the album. But with this last project, we did the album and then we're doing some singles. So I think it's nice to change some things up too. But I have a lot of plans for the next album, and hopefully a lot of gigs coming up, especially after winter, spring, summer, doing some festivals and stuff like that, and opening up maybe for, some big names. And it's like I said, I'm enjoying the ride, but that's my plans right now. Things could change, but that's where I'm at right now.
Well, you gave out your website, Gary Pratt Music. Give out your social media links too, so people can connect with you that way.
Well, I have links on Spotify, Facebook. We have Twitter, and you can get my music on Amazon and Diesel and Tidal. I don't have the exact addresses right in front of me, but you can join Gary Pratt Fans on Facebook. It's a group, and you'll get everything that's going on in my personal life and in the music life, and what's going on with me. So I urge everyone, really, you'll get everything first on the Gary Pratt Fans Facebook page. And if any of those sites, that I have links on the website. Again, it's GaryPrattMusic.com. You can just hit Spotify, you can hit Twitter, you can whatever little icon, and you'll go right to any of the sites.
Okay. Now, as you know, when I brought you on last time, I had you to do a little acapella for the listeners. So why don't you give us a little acapella of something to remember?
Okay. Our days are giving one at a time, minute by minute, line by line. And like the sun in evening till the sun in morning light, our days will fade to shine. Is that good enough?
That is actually perfect. I appreciate that, and I'm sure the listeners will as well. Go ahead and give us some final thoughts to close it out.
To close it out, I'm just, like I said, I'm grateful for everyone that's supported my music, and grateful for everyone that's had their hand, in where I'm going and what I'm doing right now. But, I just want everyone out there, like I said before, if you love someone, make sure you tell them. If you have a disagreement with someone, one of your siblings or something, you don't want to have regrets in life. And, luckily I don't have any regrets with my brother. We loved each other and supported each other. But if that would happen to someone, I think, that's the most important thing in our life, is the people that we love, and everything else makes no difference. Money, fame, anything like that does not really make a difference, because you don't take that with you, when you pass away. And what you want to leave are good memories and of the things that you did. And also, I want to say too that some people out there may be going through a hard time, maybe an addiction, maybe making bad choices, whatever it may be. Tomorrow's a new day. Start over, and you can change. No matter what situation you are, there's people out there that will help you, and you can make a better life for you, and you will be, you'll give other people something worth remembering, and positive things. I think that's what we need right now, in this world, and is positive people and good people, because I know there's a lot of good people out there still, and I believe that. We just need to help each other, but love each other. I'm going to leave with that.
That was well said. Ladies and gentlemen, GaryPrattMusic.com. Be sure you check him out. Check out all his stuff. He's a wonderful singer, has some great influential music. Be sure to follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible so they can be checking out Gary's music as well. Android listeners, go to the Google Play Store and download the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast app. Gary, thank you so much for joining me once again.
Hey, thank you, Curtis. I appreciate your time.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.